Hey there, welcome back to Local Legends. This is part 2 of the history of Gunners Park. If you haven't seen the previous video, I'd highly recommend watching it, but here's a quick refresher to catch you up. Local Legends, Gunners Park, Hastein, Thanet, Danish Camp, Linkedin, Guthrum, that was all a bit pointless, wasn't it? So that's where we left off, with Hastein, the Viking warlord, dropping out of the frame of history and leaving Shoebury behind forever. This Viking army was most likely the most populated Shoebury would be for the next 1,000 years. Crazy to think about, isn't it? In the 1850s, the population of Shoebury was only about 150 or so, while today, this marshy headland next to the Thames has a population of over 22,000. That's quite the population growth, wouldn't you say? Should we go and take a stroll and find out why? In the 19th century, Southend-on-Sea was booming as a seaside resort town, whereas the nearby Shoeburyness was booming too, just in a more literal sense. In 1849, the Board of Ordnance bought up land in Shoeburyness, with the aims to open up a garrison. They decided to build the ranges here to replace earlier ranges that were in Plumstead and Woolwich, because it probably wasn't the best idea to fire live ammunition in literally the biggest city in the world. And they set up this new range at the perfect time too, with the Crimean War just beginning. This saw the range expanded with new barracks and the impressive gate which you can see behind me. Overall, the range took up 200 acres of land in Shoebury, which was a perfect amount of room for the new Royal Artillery School of Gunnery. What they were testing probably looks something like this. A proper cannon. A cannon if you will. Now this is the 1850s, and the art of war was well in need of a rewrite. The Crimean War is often thought as the first modern war in Europe, which meant moving away from cannons like this to something more like this. Behind me, you can see the ruins of a gun battery. Now, I wouldn't blame you for thinking this is some kind of medieval castle, and it's not an entirely wrong description of the building, with its foreboding walls and its proximity to the ocean. The fortress you can see behind me once housed 2 massive guns. These were called heavy quick firing anti-ship cannons. And you can imagine the concrete structure of this fortress was pretty strong to handle all of that firepower. Why exactly were these built though? And who exactly were they defending the Thames estuary from? If you're enjoying the video so far and would like to see more local legends, it would mean the world if you subscribed and gave this video a like. As Gunners Park is situated at the mouth of the Thames estuary, which is only about 40 miles from central London, it's pretty obvious why this location was chosen to fortify. The Thames made London what it is today, but it also presented a glaring hole in the city's defence. You can't build a wall in a river, while also letting hundreds of boats through every day. This made it all too easy for potential enemy ships to cruise right up into the heart of England. This chilling video shows what it could have looked like if an enemy warship had gotten into the heart of London by using the Thames. So, as the naval arms race between the UK and Germany began to pick up at the beginning of the 20th century, these defences needed to be bolstered, including this interesting structure that you can see behind me. Now this would have housed a big old gun, and you can kind of imagine the scale of it by the size of this structure. So, with all of that tension rising, defence building and arms racing, that could only be leading to one thing. Say it with me now, war. As you might have seen in a few of my previous videos, Southend and Shoeburyness were of significant importance during both World Wars. It's difficult to believe that this area was the front row seat to the Battle of Britain, but it's true. Following the Second World War, the ranges continued to see use, with the small intercontinental ego-boosting contest going on between the Soviet Union and the US. The UK was in an unfortunate position of being right in the middle of these two superpowers, which sort of forced our hands into being really quite involved in this Cold War. Until the twilight years of the 20th century, the Garrison continued to be just that, a garrison.
even though more and more of the ranges were run by local civilian contractors as time went on.
Which was good for keeping local people employed, at least. Now, I'm not sure if that outweighed the possibility of Shoeburyness being a strategic target for a nuclear-armed Russia, but, you know, swings and roundabouts, I guess. You can see the remnants of war throughout so much of history here at Gunners Park. From the battles between the Vikings and the Saxons, to Britain's war efforts throughout the years and the preparations for a contemporary invasion that never came. Gunners Park stands as a reminder for what we as human beings are capable of, the great and the not so. But as you can see today, it's seen relative peace, with plants and nature, animals alike, taking over the land and claiming it back for themselves. It's kind of nice in a way, isn't it? Perhaps one day, in the far future, someone will find interest in many of the ruins of this site, much in the same way that I found at the Danish camp. The disconnection that time brings adds a level of intrigue and wonder to what many people today might see as mundane. Now, going by the track record of Gunners Park, a war is probably due in the next 1,000 years or so, so I think I'll just play it safe and go home. Thank you all for watching, and ta-ra!